Okay, so this first one after we came back is kind of going back to the influence of from 1918. And what we have is we've been given this function where a of t is the number of deaths, and we have 20,493 divided by 1 plus 1744.15 e to the negative 1.212 t. Okay, where t is the number of weeks after the start of the epidemic based on data for weeks 0 through 13. And what they want us to do is numerically estimate to the nearest integer the end behavior for a as t increases without bound. Show the numerical estimation table starting at t equals 5 and incrementing by adding 5. Then we want to write an equation for the horizontal asymptote for a found in part A. And then C, we want to write a sentence interpreting the result found in part A in context, explaining why this result makes sense or why it does not make sense. All right, so let's go over here, and we're given the table. And so what we need to do is what we've been doing before. We need to plug in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And so what we're just kind of doing is going up into our function here and then see what our values get to. All right, so let's go to our calculator again. Now let's clear all that out because we have a new function we're working with. And so what we have is 20,493 divided by, and then that's going to be on the bottom, 1 plus, I think I wrote this down wrong. I thought it was 17, but I better go back. Yeah, 1744. 1744.15, and then we have second ln to get our e, and that was to the negative, so we have to use that negative 1.212, and then we take that times, and we wanted a table of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, so let's plug in 5 first, and then we'll go down, and then we'll put a parenthesis, and we'll hit enter. So the first one is going to give us 40.78. Okay, and let's go ahead and write it out to the 0.78, kind of see where we're at. So now what's the next one going to be? Well, now we have to use 10. It was 5 10s, so we'll do 10. And so now that's going to be 20,300.06. Okay. Now let's go again. Now we'll go to 15. And we get 2492.55 because that 5 was going to round it up. So now we'll go up to the next one. And we get 20. And we get 2492.99. Okay. And then now we go to the next one, and we get our 25, and we get 2493. 2493. Okay. Now what we have to think about is here, what would we do? We would round, what does it say? Let's go back here and put our numbers in and see. It said estimating to the nearest integer. Okay, so we got it to the 2 decimal places. So we had, what was it, 4040.78, and so that's going to be approximately 4041. And so then 10, that was 20300.06, and so that's going to be 2300. And then we had 2492.55. Well, that's going to round up to 2493. Then we had 2492.99, and that's also going to be 2493. And then we have 2493, and it said it was what it was, and so that's what it's going to be. And so we're going to say that's 2493. Okay, so that's what we're saying our limit is. Remember, we have to get to 3 of them being the same, and since we're rounding to the ones, that would be what they would be. All right, so that's the first part. We did the numerically estimating. Now we want to write an equation for the horizontal asymptote for A found in part A. Well, notice this probably, if we really did the 25 here, it really is not going to be this. It's going to be 0.999. But what happens is our calculators aren't good enough to show us all those extra digits, and so it automatically rounded it to the 9.3. And so our horizontal asymptote means, where are we approaching? Well, we're approaching the y equals 20493. Okay, and so that is going to be our horizontal asymptote. And so that would be part B. And then part C, write a sentence interpreting the results found in part A in context. Explain why the result makes sense or why it does not make sense. Well, basically what we're saying is the number of deaths approached 2493, as time went by, basically, as time approached, you know. And remember, this was for 0 to 13. So as time approached the 13 weeks. And that's kind of where it's getting. It's approaching it. So about that time, it's going up, and we're eventually going to really get close. And about 13 weeks, we're probably there. So we still have a ways to get to that plateauing where it's 0.55 something, 0.99 something, and this is going to be 2.9999 something. And so that's kind of where we're at there. So it seems reasonable that at the point of 13 weeks we're approaching that limit of the 2493. All right, so that's all I have for section 1.2.